So it's time for another quick tip video. In the last video about watering, I saw a lot of comments about people saying they're going to let their cool season lawn go dormant this season. Nothing really wrong with that in most situations, but today I wanted to tell you a quick tip about something I learned last year at my house and also at my father-in-law's place on cool season grass and letting it go dormant, and how to make sure that you don't have any summer die-off from letting it go too far. Cool season lawns have a built-in mechanism in the summer heat where they can kind of go brown, go into a dormant state where they're not really growing anymore, and then once the cooler temperatures and rainfall come back in the fall, things will get back to a normal green yard like you're used to. Kentucky bluegrass, especially in my backyard, I've let it go completely brown as straw before, and in about a month's time into the fall season, it's back to being green and looking good again. Now, that's not to say that you don't have to do any care for it in the fall to make it look good. You're going to want to get an application of fertilizer on it as soon as that weather breaks and it starts to turn green again, but for the most part, these grasses are pretty resilient with summer heat. Now, the tip that I have for you though is to make sure that you don't let them go too far in dormancy without any water whatsoever. So last year, outside of my fence area, I let this go completely dormant, but I also didn't add any water to it. And by the end of the season, I noticed I had some areas that completely died off because I let it go too far. The same thing happened in my father-in-law's lawn. He didn't have any extra irrigation on it, so there's a few spots that completely died off and we had to do some reseeding. So in order to avoid that, you're going to want to at least put down a small amount of water onto the grass every 2 weeks. Probably a quarter of an inch or a little bit less than that is probably going to be okay, but you want to make sure that you keep the crown of the plant from dying. So it can be in a dormant state. You don't want to put too much on to try to bring it out of dormancy and then let it go back in and out. You just want to put enough on so that the plant doesn't die off. So if you're not seeing any rainfall whatsoever for 2 weeks, you got a lot of high temperatures, then you're going to want to add just a little bit of supplemental water so that you don't have to do some reseeding or some work on renovation like I did from letting it go too far. Hope that tip helped you today on the summer heat. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.